Friends, how are you? How's life? How's things? How's today? Today is the first day of sectionals, like the end of year tournament for softball, but it's raining here. I don't think we're gonna get to play. Um, I was thinking earlier that uh, I've been way behind on my reading this year. Um, Last year, at this point in the year, I had read something like 40-ish books, maybe even 50 books. I ended up reading 83 total last year, and the majority of those were in the first 3 months of the year. And I set my goal this year at 52. I figured I'd read a book a week. And so far, I think I've read like maybe 3 or 4 books, and that's it. I haven't really been reading nearly as much as last year. And I don't have a whole lot to attribute that to, but I've just been thinking about it. Like, obviously, I've been playing a lot of bass this year because I found somebody to play music with. And that means instead of just spending 10 hours or 10 minutes a day practicing, there's days I'm spending hours practicing because I have to keep these songs fresh and so I can just play them. Um, and that's not a complaint at all. Like, I'm very much enjoying that time. But I started thinking about what last year was, and last year was basically like, I don't want to say I was capital D disabled last year, but I kind of was for the first 8 months of the year. One of the reasons I read so many books in the first 3 months was because I just laid on the couch and read. That's really all I could do. I couldn't come down here. My workshop is typically gets more use in the winter than it does in the summer, which is kind of opposite of how most woodworkers work. But in the winter, I'm not outside doing stuff. My kid's not doing activities, so I've got all the time in the world, and I'll come down here and make things. And I couldn't do that last winter. So I just read a lot, a lot, a lot. Part of the reason I started playing bass, honestly, I've said it many times, is because I've just missed having music in my life, and I want music in my house. I want creativity, like, to be a regular part of my life, and I haven't felt that way in a long time. And so I decided to give bass another shot. I had tried it many years ago, and also because that's something else I could do while sitting down. Like, that's something else I can do in a comfortable position for me, which typically is kind of an upright sitting position, is a pretty comfortable position for me. So I could play bass that way. Thus, I bought a bass and I started playing bass. And for the last half of that, then I took the course, whatever. But I was really putting in like maybe 10 minutes to half an hour a day. Some days I'd put in an hour working on a song or whatever. But it wasn't a whole lot, so I was still reading a lot. This year, I've not had that. I've had bass a lot. Like, bass has taken over my world. And again, this isn't like a complaint. It's just the reality of what it is. It's I'm very happy to have it in my life. And as is with anything like this, when you introduce a new hobby, playing bass or whatever it is, something has to give. You can't just keep doing everything that you do. And so I found that pretty much bass and video games are about the only thing I do anymore. And video games are just because they're convenient and I can do them in short spurts. Reading, I've always been the kind of reader that I would rather read a book in one sitting than to piece it together throughout a week. Part of the reason I used to read so fast, and people would like, how are you reading these books so fast, is because I want to just sit and absorb the book. And it's hard for me to read for 10 minutes and put it away. But I can do that with video games. I can do that with playing bass, And this spring, being so busy with softball and travel, cruise, concerts, wedding, there hasn't been a lot of space to sit and just read for many, many hours. And also, my back doesn't hurt, so I've been trying to do things like working on the house, working outside, fixing stuff that basically got neglected last year that now needs to be taken care of. So I'm wondering, I've been learning to give myself grace and not be hard on myself. Setting a 52 book reading goal, that's a lot of damn books, like for anybody. Do I need to read a book a week? No. I'd like to. So I've been searching lately. I've been trying to find just like, maybe I'll read Westerns. Maybe I think popular novels, especially novels that are turned into paperbacks that are a couple hundred pages, 250, 300 pages. I can read those books in like an evening. And maybe that's the thing that I need to read more of. Just more shorter, just fun, rompy books. I've been trying to find, like, is there a publisher that specializes in this, especially for the kind of book that I want to read? I could definitely do that with like romance. I could read hundreds of thousands of Harlequin romance novels and not get caught up. But I'm more interested in, kind of maybe noir or adventure or detective or mysteries. And I've been looking for a publisher that does that. And can, maybe they put out a book a month or something so that I have a back catalog I can dig through. So I'm kind of on the quest to find, like, who's still publishing shorter novels? Where do I find those? And I'm looking for a publisher, not a... There's a lot of that on something like the whatever Amazon's platform is for authors to self-publish, and I've tried those things, and lots of them are just horrifically bad. Not what I'm interested in. And maybe this is a case of like I need to go back in time, like go read Louis L'Amour's Westerns, go read. I still have the 87th Precinct books to get through, and those are kind of short. So maybe it's more of that kind of stuff. But I do kind of miss reading. I still read. There's a book on my Kindle right now I've been working on. It's a friend's book, which makes it a little extra difficult because it's unpolished, and it's not a book that's drawing me in, but I'm going to finish it for my friend, and so I can give positive or negative, so I can give feedback. I mean positive as in like, here's what I think, but it's a little hard to get through, and that's maybe part of this. Part of it is I just need to find something that's a little easier to digest, that's well written and just kind of flows faster. I just have to find that, and then we'll get back to talking about books. But for right now, my life is base, and I feel like that's all I'm talking about these days, because it really is all I'm thinking about. It's really become difficult to think about anything else. I just want to play music. What are you going to do? Hopefully it's not, hopefully it's still interesting. Yesterday's video, I think, sucked, but people watched it. But it was just kind of like nonsensical bass talk. Who wants that? I guess bass players. I don't know. What should we talk about this week? Give me something to say. Give me a topic. Put it in the comments while you're down there. Leave a like. Thank you for watching the video. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. We are on positive subscriber growth. Let's keep that going. Let's see where we go. And let's get more people giving us topic ideas in the comments. I enjoy those sorts of things. I'll see you tomorrow. Today's 1,000 plus little things happy, successful people do differently. We have been learning 30 lessons for finding strength in hard times. We are on number 23. That's Malia's number. I'm 22, she's 23. 23. Life is not easy. If you expect it to be, you will perpetually disappoint yourself. Achieving anything worthwhile in life takes effort, so start every morning ready to run farther than you did yesterday and fight harder than you ever have before. Above all, make sure you properly align your efforts with your goals. It won't be easy, but it'll be worth it in the end. Yeah, I mean, just push yourself. Pushing yourself is how you get better. That's just that simple.